have dragons? I'll give you one.
Welcome back to Heroes and Whiskey. We have a bit of a unique episode today. If you're new to this channel, we have been 3D printing every monster in the D&D Monster Manual in order, and we just spent 3 full months printing the chromatic and metallic dragons plus some of their kin. Now the goal of this channel is really to showcase the creators in this space, and all told we spent 26 full days printing 1 Dracolich, 1 Shadow Dragon, and 11 ancient chromatic and metallic dragons, using both resin and FDM as best fit to print. I finally wrapped up the last one, and these are my top 5 picks for the best dragons available for your printer and your tabletop. Of course, the question of which one to print is highly subjective, so please let me know if in your mind another dragon reigns supreme. All of these dragons were purchased from my mini factory, and before you comment, I know that there are dozens of amazing dragons available for printing, but I wanted to be true to the manual and look specifically for dragons that captured the essence of the dragons named in the manual. If this is your first time, you'll also notice that I don't fully paint my figures. I use a black base and white dry brush to emphasize the details, and I'm frankly not that good of a painter, so I wanted to emphasize the model and not my crappy paint job. Alright, with that out of the way, travel light, let's hunt some dragon. Dragon number 5 is a silver dragon from Lord of the Print. Now this dragon is sold as a gray dragon, but it has the characteristic spine sail of the silver dragon, so I'm calling it a silver. Now I love this print because it pushes the boundaries of physics. There's literally a 1-inch stretch of its tail holding the dragon to its base. Its wings are spread wide and is very precariously balanced. With most of these dragons, I printed the base and wings FDM, and the body in resin because of the printers I had at the time. Many of them are a bit top-heavy. But as long as you don't blow too hard on this guy, this dragon looks awesome. It obviously has a very aggressive stance, which is a bit unusual for a silver unless there's some serious evil afoot. He also has enough of a classic dragon look that if you wanted to use it for any color, you could. Number 4 is the red dragon from Claymore Miniatures. Like the silver, it uses its base to its advantage, giving it a really aggressive style and towering over the surrounding tabletop. It also has a very classic dragon style, so again, if you needed another color or type of dragon, he would work just fine. He also has a little more compact overall presence than the silver, which makes him a little easier to carry around if you're not the one hosting the adventure. Number 3 is the Dracolich from Mini Monster Mayhem, and this guy is absolutely insane. At the time that I printed him, he was by far the largest and most difficult print to assemble, and it fell and broke multiple times. But if you can hold him together, he is an incredibly imposing presence on the table, coming in at over 15 inches high. While he doesn't have the full traditional rotting effect that you would normally see in a Dracolich, instead you get every bone and tendon, which I'm sure was a ton of work, and the head is just awesome. Coming in at number 2 is the green dragon from Lord of the Print. Now, Lord of the Print makes a couple of varieties of green dragon, and they acknowledge that this one is inspired by the Pathfinder green dragon with its horned nose, so I know that makes him a bit more of a blue dragon in D&D, but I couldn't not include him. He has a massive wingspan, and he finally convinced me to get a larger bed FDM printer so I could print the wings all in one piece. This guy is over 2 feet across, and you can tell the creators were like, well, this is how big we want these wings, and they just did it. Beyond the sheer size, it is a beautiful design with talent and passion poured into all of the nooks and crannies, which is what you expect from Lord of the Print. This is absolutely a world-class creation and would make a worthy final battle in any campaign. So what could top our biggest print to date? It's the black dragon from Lord of the Print, sold as a dark dragon, but with the telltale forward-pointing horns and bad attitude of a classic black. In case you were wondering, no, I do not work for Lord of the Print. They just happen to be one of the boldest creators of big figures, and they just have an amazing collection of dragons of all types, sizes, and ages. This black has a special place for me. I've had my eye on it since the beginning of this channel because I just love the style and the personality that's poured into it. But I never trusted my printing equipment to be able to handle it. But the time came, so I decided to give it a shot, and wouldn't you know it, I was able to print this entire dragon in pieces on my lowly 3-year-old Ender 3, and it came out incredible. It does have some telltale FDM markers like layer lines on finer points, and he's missing a few toes, but it still looks fantastic and no one would know the difference if you dropped him on the table. Now, it did take me 67 total hours to fully print him on my Ender 3, but it's just amazing to me that we live in an era where you can print something like this on a $180 machine. All told, it took us 626 hours to print every piece of every dragon. As I said, I used a combination of FDM and resin printers and even upgraded in the middle of the series to be able to print bigger. So how long it might take you will be very dependent on your printing setup, but be prepared for hundreds of hours. So let me know down in the comments if there are other dragons that you have your eye on. If you're interested in the other dragons, or frankly any other monster in the manual, definitely click subscribe or check out the channel page. I'll be doing this for about 3 years and would love to have you along for the ride.